things I always teach, I mean, it's just my philosophy around everyday life when it comes to training, when it comes to business, when it comes to anything, right? First, like, you got learning. And like, that's one of the things, like, if you want to get better or you want to solve a problem, I mean, that's what we do when it comes to the gym setting or any other business that you have. You're solving a problem for the client, right? You're solving a problem. There's a pain, there's an obstacle, there's something that's holding a person back, and you're the solution to this, or your service or your product is the solution for this. But when you have, like, to me, it's always been this philosophy around, like, if I'm here and I want to get to here, right, and there's this bridge, like, this is my current reality and this is my ideal reality, this is my vision of my life and my business, you have this drawbridge of that's going to take you there. And that drawbridge is basically knowledge that you don't have, information you don't have, people that you need to meet and collaborate with, right, environments that you need to be around, okay, like, whether it's, like I said, it's not just how but who, right? And so, and every step is essentially a part of either information or application or somebody that helps you out with that, right? Now with that, so that means step one is learning, maybe learning who that is, maybe learning what that thing is, right? What that information is, but there's learning, okay? But without, like, learning is nothing without application. So step two is always application, right? And that's why you see me too, like, and you know, when we were doing this launch, this kickoff where I'm breaking stuff down to our clients and our members about nutrition. But not only am I breaking it down, like, I'm also doing it with them, right? I'm applying it, I'm learning as I'm going along, because, like, the learning never ends. So there's learning, then there's application. Without application, there's nothing. I always say knowledge plus no action equals nothing, right? You know it, but at the same time, like, if you know it but don't apply it, it's the same as not knowing it, right? But knowledge plus action equals wisdom. I say it doesn't always equal results, right? Because sometimes you have knowledge and you apply it, and the result isn't exactly how you want it to be, right? But you guess what you get? You get feedback, you get a lesson, right? And then it takes you to step three, which is reflection, right? Reflection is like, man, what happened, right? Things went right. Okay, cool, what went right? Why did it go right? All right, I'm gonna repeat that, right? But maybe it went wrong, and it's like the reflection is like, all right, let's tweak this, let's change that. What's going on? And that's literally what a lot of coaching is, right? There's learning, there's application, and then there's reflection. From reflection, we get course correction, right? And that's like after we course correct, like, because we tweak things. And think about it, right? It's like when I played basketball, I would do a certain type of shot, right? And it's like it goes off, and I'm like, oh man, I'm not following through with these two fingers. I gotta make sure I follow through with these last two fingers. I gotta extend my elbow, right? I'm reflecting what I didn't do and what I'm gonna change next time. And then after I have that course correction, man, I'm just reapplying and doing it over and over and over again, right? And that process is never ending, right? And the thing is like, where in that process are you stuck? Maybe you're learning stuff. But if you're not learning, man, you got to start with that. You got to learn. You got to get that knowledge, right? Step number two, if you're learning it, are you not applying it, right? And not only applying it, but applying it consistently. And then are you reflecting? I think that's one of those big things that people miss out on, is they do stuff, they never reflect on it. And that's why you jump from thing to thing, right? You're jumping from one marketing strategy to another, from one training strategy to another. Like, gosh, this shit doesn't work, right? It's like, man, next thing, right? Because you want those quick results, and you're not course correcting, you're not reflecting on it. Right? That's why journaling is important. That's why being in environments that help guide you is important. That's why coaching is so important, right? And once you have that process, remember this, okay? People are great at getting results. Everybody's great at getting results. And you might be asking yourself, like, what? Like, not everybody's great at getting results. No. You're gonna get a result. It just might not be the result that you want. Right now, that's the thing, is there is a result that you're getting based on the behaviors that you have, okay? But it might not be the result that you want. So you got to check your behaviors. You got to check your daily actions. You got to check your daily habits, right? You are getting a result. Trust that. It just may not be the one that you want. So you have to assess everything so that you get the result that you want. And that starts with knowing what the fuck you want. Like, you have to know what you want and then reverse engineer it. Like, so that's so important. Like, you are getting results right now, but if they're not the ones that you want, you got to check that process that I just talked about and recalibrate so that you can get what you want. So a simple way to look at this is like, man, I mean, I think one of the most powerful things to do is like pen to paper, or in this case, whiteboard. And remember, this this is my crazy whiteboard, but what we're looking at here is like just writing out your current reality. And the thing is, like, it's kind of like a bank account that you don't want to look at, right? You want to look at the bank account because you know you're spending money in areas you probably shouldn't be spending money, considering what your goals are. Same thing, like you take an audit of your current reality. Now what I put up here is just a couple of, I should say, most important, I would say, areas of your life. Fitness, business, relationships, relationship/family. Then you have fun, adventure, which I think is extremely important. Spirituality, whatever that means for you. But hey, what's your current reality in those areas? Like, what do you want to change? Maybe some of these things are good, great. But whichever one's not, whichever one you want to change, you probably want to create an audit, right? So in fitness, hey, inconsistent training, or maybe you don't have a training plan at all. You have no nutrition path. You're just kind of going along. You're not aware of it at all. You're just stuck in your patterns, doing what you're doing. Then little sleep, right? No stress management. Like, you don't even know how much you sleep, how well you sleep. You're not tracking any of that. You're not aware. You don't have any sleep rituals. You don't go to sleep at the same time, wake up at the same time. Any of that stuff, right? In your business, you have no plan. You don't have a game plan at the end of the week. You don't structure anything. You don't do any paid marketing. You don't have a coach. You need admins, right? Maybe you need you're working too long of hours, doing too much, taking too much on, right? So maybe that's your current audit and it's painful, right? But it's getting your results. Like I said, it's getting your results, but not the ones that you want. Hey, in your relationship, if you're married, if you're in a relationship, do you have no structured date nights? Like, it's just kind of however it goes, you know what I mean? Do you have a no set schedule? There's no date nights with the kids. You don't have I would say, non-negotiable rules in how you communicate so that you keep that connection strong. And in spirituality, hey, are you reading? Are you journaling? Are you meditating? Like, none of that's happening. So you want to create that current reality and just write it out. Where are you at? And from there, you want to go to your ideal reality. What would that perfect life, perfect day be like? And you can see I got the little stick man figure that gets bigger, because the thing is, like, you got to go like, hey, who do you want to become? Right? That's how I always say, like, don't think about what you got to do, but who do you have to become? And what are the things that in the ideal reality would happen every day in fitness? Daily workout. Maybe you got a coach 2-3 days a week. Maybe you have a group training program you go to. You have a nutrition path and a plan, some guidance. It's like, hey, listen, okay, I'm going to make sure I have 40 grams of protein with every meal. I'm going to make sure that I eat a little slower. It takes me 15 minutes to eat a meal. Whatever it is, it's like there's got to be some type of path. There's got to be some type of plan. Otherwise, your default is struggle. I say when there's no path and plan, your default is struggle. And so with that said, and like I said, you can keep going down here and look at that. Hey, maybe you get a couple meals delivered every day, so it makes it easier. Maybe you have, you make dinner with your wife every night, and it's a specific type of meal that fits your goals. Same thing in business. Like, you have a weekly plan, what I call game flow. Every Sunday, you get ready for the week. Every night, you know your next daily action steps. You set goals so that you can reverse engineer it. You get an admin so it takes the stuff that you don't like doing off the plate. You get more people on a team that are the right people for the tasks. From content, marketing, whatever it is that needs to happen to create that ideal reality. There's a gap here, right? That's that drawbridge that I was talking about, and there's different steps you got to take. Now the thing is, this might seem out of control, might seem a lot, but the key is to do small steps. Is to go, all right, what is one thing that I can do starting now? What is something I can put in place in a couple of these areas, right? What are these daily habits that I can create? What are some hard conversations that I need to have with people to start moving this forward? Who do I need to call to make a shift? Maybe I need to call a coach to start training with. Maybe I need to get a marketing company into my business. Maybe I need to hire an admin. Maybe I need to sit down with my girl and have a reality check that I've been a shithead. Like, that's real. I've been there many a times, right? So it's like, maybe I need to do 15 minutes of reading in the morning, something that gets my head in the right place to put me in power for the day. But no matter what, you have this drawbridge. You have this point A to point B. You have this current reality to this ideal reality. And step number one is you have to assess it, because you are getting results. It's just not the ones that you want. And you have to start replacing the behaviors that you currently have, as painful as that may be, to look at that and start building the behaviors that are going to build you into the person that you want to become, that's going to build your life, your business, your relationships in a way that you want them to. Right? I mean, it's as simple as that, but just like anything else, simple isn't easy. But if you start today, and don't start too big, don't look at this and go like, oh man, there's 32 things that I got to do, right? Do one thing or do two things and just start chipping away at them and build that self-esteem. Because remember, the way that it works is like this. Every time you do something that you said you do, you put a debit into your bank account of self-esteem. Every time you don't do something that you said you do, you put a credit in there. And the tendency for a lot of people is to overpromise too big of a goals, or should I say, too fast. Not too big goals long-term, but too big of a goals too fast. And then you don't do what you said, and you keep putting the credits into your self-esteem bank account until you don't believe yourself anymore, no matter what you say. So the way that you turn it around is like make smaller promises and then do them, and then build that self-esteem back and get those debits back until one day, man, you're so confident because you believe yourself that even if you fuck up, it won't matter because you got that self-esteem that you can build upon. And remember, like a great mentor of mine, John Berardi said, most people make it too difficult, meaning they think things are too hard, right? So they think things are way too harder than they actually are, but they drastically underestimate how long it will take. So this, right? If you think if you're like, oh man, I could probably get this done in 6 to 12 months. Maybe it'll take 3 years for you to get there, right? You think it can be done in a year. Maybe it'll take 4 or 5, right? Or 3. It'll take longer than you think, but it's not as hard. These steps are not crazy, I would say complicated, right? They're not complex, right? The one thing that you gotta do is you gotta start today, start smaller, build that bank account, and change your current reality to the ideal reality.